your political theater to Texas.
This is not about political theater.
And it was more political theater than anything.
It's nothing more than pure political theater.
It's pure political theater.
Friends, we are here. Let me know y'all can hear me. Hopefully y'all can hear me. What up, everybody? Good to see you. First of all, let me pour some wine. I'm not sponsoring. I'm not paid by these people. Oh, actually, when this first came out, I did get a little to promote the 19 Crimes. But it was actually the Snoop Dogg one. This is before he went like full MAGA. And I drank the whole bottle in one sitting. It is what it is. But anyway, 19 Crimes, you know, for folks that are not wine aficionados, it works. It's serviceable. I actually happen to be a wine person, but it's also inexpensive and accessible. So shout out to that. How's everybody doing? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It is election night. And we're going to get into, oh my gosh, we're looking at stuff now. Y'all know the drill. We've done this before. Sometimes when you're streaming, they want to cut you off. So if they cut me off, go right back to my live tab. I will set up a new one. Okay? Just hop on. All right? So if you're watching on YouTube, if for some reason they cut me off because I'm streaming, they usually get picky when you're playing the sound. That's why I have it on mute right now. But if I get kicked off, somebody in the chat just type it, because I don't always know when they kick me off. Somebody just say you got knocked off. I will start a new one and we'll begin again. Same for Instagram. I will start another one and we'll go from there. All right. We all good. We all understand the assignment, right? How's everybody doing? Check in with me. Where are you right now? Where are you guys? Where are you watching? Yeah, get the snacks and the edibles. Like, what are we doing here? Like, this is going to be a time. There's a lot of races going on here. I got a lot of races going on. A lot of things we need to think about. Okay. So they're awaiting the first results from some of the Virginia races. Jersey closes in about an hour. And then New York closes at 9. They'll start making predictions and things like that. Let's see. Nervous New Jersey. I get it. No, there's absolutely a reason to be nervous in New Jersey. I rode my bike today to go vote, and all I did was ride past Chitterelli signs. Vegas is in the house over on Instagram. Good to see you. Got Vegas in the house. Georgia. How are y'all down there? What any major races down there? Texas. Austin, how's it doing? Yeah, loaded up on consumables. I'm with it. But you know what? It's interesting because speaking of Greg Abbott, we got a couple of things we want to cover. Listen, this is still political theater with Dr. T. Couple of things. Speaking of Texas, let me share this screen. What you say? Just want to show you all the governor of Texas. This is what the governor of Texas said. After the polls close tomorrow night, I will impose 100% tariff on anyone moving to Texas from New York City. Now, guys, what are we doing? Like, this is your governor. What is he talking about? Like, it wasn't a joke. Like, they're kind of leaning into this whole thing. Trump is threatening people with tariffs and all kind of stuff, and they think it's a joke. Like, they're talking about tariffs like they're a joke. Like, what do you? 100% of what? What are you going to be doing? Let me find out. You hop out off the plane from New York, and as soon as you get inside, you're like, how much was your ticket? You're like, $590. Pay us $590. Is that what he's going to do? What is that? You're in Ohio, Columbus. I'm going to be in Columbus in a couple of weeks. Shout out to Columbus, Ohio. Oh, you guys got a mayor's race too? Okay, trying to get 2 PUC seats flipped. Okay, mayor's race. All right. Where else y'all going? Where else y'all at? VA closed at 7. All right, so we're waiting for the results from that. It's looking like the white lady's gonna win. I don't even understand how they're close. So that's just me. I don't understand how they're close. Well, but also I was listening to this thing where they said that they said it might be one of the biggest blowouts of a governor race. Oh, God. Wait, I gotta show you this lady. Cause what the fuck? Hold on, guys. Hold on. Let's switch over here. Let's share this one. This lady.
I am speaking.
Cat, what are you doing? What is happening here?
USA. We're gonna win in November. We have to win.
What is she doing? Chat, what is she doing? She's like, it's hilarious because, like, first of all, like, it's hard because you know how it gets, right? We know how misogynoir functions, and those who don't know what misogynoir is, it is a specific type of misogyny that specifically targets Black women, and it is a racialized version of misogyny, right? And this is coined by Moya Bailey, professor, brilliant woman. I rocks with her, and it was the theoretical framework was fleshed out by the Trudes, also a friend of mine. And we have to avoid that with her, right? We should never kind of lean into that. But this woman is absolutely out of her mind. I just want to be, was I not supposed to say that? This woman believes that solar power isn't good because what happens when the sun goes down? Chat. What was she talking about? Yes, hit that like button. If you're new here, if you happen to hop on YouTube and you typed in election and it came to my channel, welcome. We are actually progressive over here. We do not stump for politicians. We don't make them our besties. We are rational human beings here who look at politics and understand that it is all political theater. And so we mock everybody. But put in the chat who we hoping to see tonight. New York City, my hometown. New York City is got a major race now. Now listen, I don't trust nobody's politics. I said to people, listen, don't be surprised if Cuomo pulls out a win. People got mad at me. And here's the thing, you can't get mad at me for speculating on reality, okay? There are tens of millions of dollars that was pouring in to support the campaign against Mamdani, Zohran Mamdani. And people don't even like Cuomo, but they were pouring money in. Elon Musk tweets that people need to vote for Cuomo. They don't even like Cuomo. I am a New Yorker. Well, no, I'm always a New Yorker. Fuck that. I'm always a New Yorker, no matter where I live. And I tell people, like, y'all really think that like everything is all good, but it's not. And so I was like, I posted, I said, y'all got to go vote. And here's the thing, chat. I get really tired of people being fucking stupid. Oh, I'm never getting monetized, guys. Because I said, listen, y'all saw the post. Let me see, let me pull it up. I said New York City polling is notoriously terrible. Don't get complacent thinking Mamdani has it in the bag. He's young, Muslim, foreign-born, and not endorsed by AIPAC, and his wife isn't white. Go vote. So people were like, well, what do you mean? What are you talking about? And I'm like, are we not living in the same country? And what's this woman said over here? Amira Out Loud, Arab American woman said, wait, we aren't white anymore. I thought Swana people were white according to your own statements. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Oh, I'm sorry. I got distracted by this dumbass fool. Like, I'm sorry. Remove the quote and I'm going to block her because fuck you. You're going to, oh, God. Sorry. Y'all, okay, here's the thing. I'm just going to say this and y'all can get mad if you want. You can't come and leverage your proximity to whiteness to navigate this society unscathed. And then when it's convenient for you, you say that I'm Swana or I'm Desi or I'm whatever other racialized person. I will never accept that from you. And that makes you the equivalent of what we call in the Black community a coon. All right? You shuck and jive for these crackers. Ooh. You get you a white husband. And then you want to talk shit. I don't have time for this. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I hate to be distracted, y'all. But I'm telling the truth. New York does bug. Like, they be bugging during. And here's the thing. You got a city of 8 million people. They sitting there talk about record turnout and showing numbers of 732,000 people. Yeah, that's record. But that's not even 1 million people. New York, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, we look at Boston's mayor, Philly's mayor. They won literally with a handful of people. And people getting mad because I think what was his name? Eric Adams barely got 250,000 people to come out in that election. People getting mad with the mayors that they get, but then they don't go out and vote. And so what's the point? Just really update. They say it's too early to call the Virginia governor's race. I appreciate that. CNN has gotten in trouble a lot of times for calling things early. And, it makes it they just end up looking really, unbelievable, uncredible, whatever the situation is. But all I was saying is that Zoran Mamdani represents so many things that people are against. He is young. What is he, 34? He's young. He don't have no damn experience. And y'all know it. Like, let's be honest. He's like Barack Obama. Barack Obama ain't had no damn experience either. Neither one of them were qualified to be the position that they were running for. We know this. Like, come on. But that doesn't mean that he can't get on the job training. Doesn't mean that he can't surround himself with a cabinet of people, an assembly of people that can help him, try to implement the things that he wants to do or what have you, right? He's made some promises about things that he wants to do that a mayor of New York City actually has no power to do. It's something that has to be decided by the state. And if anything, a key race alert. Oh, are they calling it, folks? Are they calling it?
5,722 votes. That's 64.7% of the vote. The Republican Winsome Earl Sears, 35.2%.
I'm sorry. Does anybody see that?
Vote. Spanberger is 2,609 votes ahead. Obviously, just a fraction of the votes have come in.
I was about to say, what are y'all talking about?
Virginia. But they are votes, and let's see where they're coming from. John King, enlighten us. Where are these votes coming in for Spanberger and Sears?
Tapper and John King.
Virginia, rural areas.
This is their moment.
Ken
They look for this every day.
The Commonwealth knows full well.
They wait
They do have the early voting.
So
they do tend to move
Spanberger,
this pretty quickly. So as we're having the conversation, you just saw some right here.
Okay, let's go back to what I was saying. So anyway, going back to New York, Mamdani, there's like I said, there's things that he wants to do that the mayor of New York City has no power to do. That does not mean that he can't have influence in the state. Again, New York City is the biggest city in New York State, but also the rest of New York State is pretty red, right? And so there's a lot of that battle. He used to be part of the DSA. And I say used to be because he has distanced himself. If you're on Patreon, I wrote a piece about, Mamdani and some of the issues. And my biggest issue is his flip-flopping. And the thing is that we saw a AOC and what happened with her. She is completely bought and sold. Kamala Harris was completely bought and sold. Ayanna Pressley be up there minding her business. But there's a lot of fear that Mamdani will go the way of AOC. Make all of these kinds of promises, these kind of progressive promises, and then not be able to come through with them because he shifted. And so we started seeing in his campaign him kind of distancing himself. I'm sorry, I was looking at the thing. Distancing himself from the DSA, right? Which is corny. Part of the excitement for him was that he was a member of the DSA and he was representing the DSA. And then he started, kind of walking back some of the things he had said, the whole defund the police thing, switching up on that, a lot of things, a lot of copping pleas. But then what he did and what I appreciated was he came and he made this video a few days ago where he basically owned that he was kind of losing himself, trying to appeal to people who already don't see him as human because of the Islamophobia, the xenophobia, just overall racism, etc. And he was just like, I'm not going to distance myself from my core values and what I believe in. And I was like, I hope this is not too little too late. You understand? Because, some people may have already been sour, but I was like, this is the authenticity that I think today's voter wants to see. I think this is an issue that Kamala Harris had. People did not read her as authentic. And perhaps the person that we saw is who she really is. I'm not sure because now on this book tour, she's also flip-flopping and copping pleas. But I think people wanted to see authenticity, not another Democratic robot, right? And so Mamdani was definitely moving in, and I heard he had Obama's people on his team and stuff. And so it made sense that he was moving this way. But it's, it's time for, I guess he realized it's time for me to actually be real and go back to what got me this initial support. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. The Virginia race is very interesting to me as well, because you have this Black far-right Republican woman, Winsome Earl Sears. And Winsome Earl Sears is a first-generation, is she first-generation or is she from Jamaica? I think she's actually from Jamaica. And she lives here. And she is representative of so many people that come from other countries. I'm saying Black people who come from other nations, come to the United States looking for a better, the American dream, a better life or what have you, and then end up becoming conservative, extremely conservative. And Donald Trump picked up a lot of those votes in his last election. We need to be honest about that. The first time around, right? They were talking, I think it was something like 4% of Black women the first time voted for him. And when you looked at them and who they were interviewing, things like that, it was primarily Caribbean and West African Black women, right? Either first gen or from, their countries of origin. And so this is not about diaspora wars or anything. It's just kind of recognizing the reality that there are people who come to this country. They look at African Americans pejoratively. They want to position themselves as better than us, and they want to assimilate. And that often means leaning into right-wing conservative values. Also, a lot of them are religious and bringing that. So one of the issues that people had with her was she said that she does not support same-sex marriage, and she doesn't see a problem with firing someone for being homosexual. And she said, and when they called her on that, she's like, that's not discrimination. So again, the big issue is that she's not smart. Okay. Oh, that's good. Checking the latest. Verna turned out surpassed 1.8 million. That's brilliant. Good. Get out and vote, y'all. Like, I don't like elections. For me, and this is what I was thinking about with Sherelle Parker in Philadelphia. If I'm running for something, I want to win. I don't want to win because of lack of participation and I'm basically winning by default. I want to win because I was able to motivate people to come out and support me. And I know that these people buy into what I'm saying. Philadelphians were just like, and she's not, I'm going to be quiet for reasons. But, again, it's just really tough. Let me see what they're doing on, Okay, I'm just waiting because AP is kind of positioned at these different rallies. And so we'll keep on checking in with the Associated Press. CNN is on a commercial. So anyway, Dick Cheney died. Dick Cheney died. Thank you for mentioning this because we do see it in other places as well. It's the case with the English Conservative Party. Their leader is a Black Nigerian woman and she's anti-immigration. Yes, we are seeing this in so many other, places as well. And it's unfortunate that colonization has corrupted so many minds of people of the African diaspora, but also understanding, and I'm, taking this from the social work, therapeutic kind of understanding of things, people who have been severely traumatized can often seek to be more like their abusers with the hope that if they are more like them, the abuse will stop, right? It'll ease up. And I think that that is part of the psychological warfare that was waged on people across the African diaspora by colonizers, by white colonizers, basically forcing you to either choose. You either choose to continue to be this African that you are, or you try your best to be like one of us. What we've learned since then, and what African Americans, most of us, because some of you niggas, whatever, but what folks have learned is that no, they still hate you. They just let you come in their house, but they still hate you, right? They'll let you work for them. They still hate you. And I just wish more Black people understood that. They're doing these key race alerts because they ain't got shit else to do. But here,
the Democrat, Abigail Spanberger, is leading with 56.3% of the vote. The Republican Winsome Earl Sears has 43.5% of the vote. Spanberger is in the lead with roughly 7,800.
And so a couple things about Winsome Earl Sears. She did not get an endorsement from Donald Trump. And to deflect from that, she tried to talk about why isn't Obama, supporting me? He just told everybody last time to vote for the Black woman, but now there's a Black woman running and he's not supporting me. Again, this woman is dizzy. There's something really wrong with this woman. I posted, I said, there's something really wrong with this lady. She thinks that solar won't work when the sun goes down. She doesn't think that saying you're against, that it's okay to fire people for being gay. She doesn't think that that's discrimination. I don't think all the screws is. I'm just saying that's kind of where we are. All right. Anyway, Dick Cheney died. That's the big news today, right? No, we haven't talked about Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney died. I had him at the top of the docket, but I said, let me wait till people come in. First of all, let's take a pause. Let's celebrate. Those are drinking, we're drinking. If you got your water, you're sober living. We're here for you too, sober living. We support it. I'm not there. And I ain't never going to be there. But, shout out to the people. Those of you quitting cigarettes, our solidarity with you, trying to, making sure that you're not relapsing at this time. It is very difficult. I told y'all before, I got my little health vape going on, my little situation, a little B12, a little melatonin, trying to kind of give me the inhale feeling so that I can kind of do that. That's been helping me out. Health vape. And I am going to promote them. Why? Because they gave me money. So when I first started talking about them, see, it's Health Vape. Okay. When I first started talking about them, it was because I just love them. And then they hit me up and they gave me money. So shout out to Health Vape. If you are somebody who is trying to recover from smoking cigarettes or some kind of thing, and you realize that one of the things you love most about your smoking, and I'm showing you now, I'm actually going to put in a new cartridge. So it does look like a little vape cartridge. And you do have your little situation here. They also come in pens that kind of mimic cigarettes. And then you can inhale the smoke, right? You can get that feeling and that kind of thing. But this is B12. This is B12. All you're doing is inhaling B12. So it's a good harm reduction kind of tool. It's a good thing that you can use And I'll support them on that. I just did an ad. I've never done an ad on this show, and over the year that we've been here, I've never done an ad. Somebody said smoke rings. Can I do smoke rings with this? Let me see. Close enough. But you get the smoke, you get the pull, you get the vibe. And I know there's a lot of people that out there, this time that we're living in is really, really tough. It's really hard. And I understand if you have vices. You're never going to be chastised by me. You're never going to be chastised by me. I understand vices. Again, I'm a retired social worker and certified alcohol and substance abuse counselor. I understand addiction. It is what it is. Ain't no shame here. All I can do is just let you know that we are in solidarity. Also, I also have my cannabis vape. So listen, right here. I got it all. We doing what we doing. So you got to find your joy. And that's real. I have to put this out here, y'all. The world is falling apart. Our country is falling apart. Everything that we think we knew is kind of done, right? 1964 to 2024, they gave us 60 years of freedom, and it's done. It's done, right? All right, so Dick Cheney, for those who forget, have forgotten, Dick Cheney was vice president of the United States, okay? He was one of the architects of the War on Terror, okay? When we invaded Iraq, he was behind that, right? And so when 9/11 happened, this man came out and said that there's no doubt that Saddam Hussein now has weapons of mass destruction. We all know that that is not true. And for those who don't know, Saddam Hussein, however you want to pronounce it, was once funded by the United States. So again, United States is one of the worst imperial powers in the history of the world. We stage coups, we disrupt governments, we destroy societies. It's what we do. So Saddam Hussein, they try to say that he had weapons of mass destruction, and man, they had nothing. Where was he getting the weapons of mass destruction from when we were the one that were supplying him with what he had? Oh, let's not even talk about it. So he pushed this lie about that there was weapons of mass destruction. And that was, a lot of people were upset. I was one of them, that they used this to justify killing so many innocent people. I mean, they literally killed hundreds of thousands of people, innocent people who did not deserve it, based on a lie. Okay. It's one reason we hate Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney was, he was the CEO of Halliburton, right? And Halliburton was a global oil services company. While he was in office, Halliburton secured billions of dollars in government contracts for reconstruction and logistics in Iraq and Afghanistan. So if you think about, you guys know how much I talk about watch the money. You know how much I talk about we got to watch the money with Trump, because he is destabilizing our economy to give his friends money, right? Shout out to Kimberly Clark buying Kenvue, whose value was decreased because they said that Tylenol causes autism, and that caused the stocks to plummet and the value of the company to go down, for Kimberly Clark to come in and buy it. And then RFK Jr. comes and says, oh, there's no link. We're wrong. That's the kind of stuff we're talking about. He's not the first to do it. Dick Cheney was doing it. And that was the thing. He made so much money. And so he pushed this weapons of mass destruction lie to get us into these wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, so that Halliburton could make billions of dollars off of these fake wars, these wars that we were in for 20 years. Okay. That is, y'all want to call everything demonic except for the white man who is responsible for the loss of hundreds of thousands of lives, 35,000 American soldiers who died either in combat or by suicide. Okay. Okay. He killed his friend. They said it was an accident. Wasn't an accident. He shot his friend in the face. Here's the thing. If you're a good hunter, which this man was hunting all the time, Cheney went hunting like Trump goes golfing, okay? The man knew what he was doing. He shot his friend in the face. Shot his friend in the face. Now, when it comes to these people, when it comes to white men, you have to understand that they do this. They kill each other every day. They kill each other every day. Okay? Understand they kill each other every day. And they act like somebody else did it or that it was an accident or whatever. I 100% believe that he shot his friend in the face. Probably owed him money. Probably tried to undermine him in some way. I believe it. I believe it. So there was that. There was also the torture. So he was very unapologetic about the fact that the United States, like CIA, was using waterboarding and stress things and sleep deprivation. And he was arguing that these are saying, this is a great article, Times of India, kind of outlining that. Always want to give credit. He said he'd do it again in a minute. They told him that the methods were brutal and ineffective. And he dismissed them and said, I'd do it again in a minute. Okay. And so, again, we're talking one of the worst, if not the worst, imperial power in the history of the world. The United States, a country that is a failed social experiment founded by criminals and ne'er-do-wells, second sons, third sons, people that nobody gave a shit about. That's the country that we all live in. That's what it was founded. And so you have savages like him. Okay, remember, white people used to eat black people and indigenous people. It was a fucking delicacy. White people like making furniture out of the skin of the people that they oppress. This is savagery. It's complete savagery. We know what it is. If you're a white person right now and you're watching and you're offended, get the fuck off my live. You know what I'm talking about here. You know who I am. Oh, Dr. Hall is here, folks. Dr. Hall is here. Everybody put in the chat, happy birthday to Dr. Hall, our guy who, wasn't able to be on today because it is his birthday and he's celebrating. But we're happy to see him in the chat. Happy birthday, Dr. H. We appreciate you. It's his birthday. How old are you today, Dr. H? You got to be damn near 50, you old ass. A lot of love for Dr. Hall in the chat. All right. So he's dead. Right? Dick Cheney is dead. And I'm glad he's dead. And if I believed in hell, I would hope he rotted. Look, I got my little I voted sticker. And then my shirt actually says power of the black vote. I'm not going to stand up. It's a little tight. It's a little medium shirt that I got from an event that I went to. There's no love for fat people at these conferences and stuff like that. They just give you whatever is there and they say, hey, work it out. He said, throw one in the chat for the old time's sake. Put one in the chat if we actually are happy that he has a birthday. 2 in the chat if he needs to stop trying to take over from the chat. You're not on the screen, Dr. Hall. All right. Let's check in with CNN and see what they're saying over here, guys.
And if you look here, the incumbent Republican Attorney General, Jason Miyares, is right now, with only 6% of the vote in, he's right now in the lead with 52.1% of the vote. Jay Jones, the Democrat, has 47.5% of the vote. That means that Spamberger is, well, right now, look at that. Jay Jones just jumped ahead. Jay Jones has now 50% of the vote, 50.7% of the vote. Wow. Jason Miyares, 49% of the vote. Guys. In any case, what's interesting is that Jay Jones is roughly 5 points behind Abigail Spamberger. Knock it out, so however well Spamberger does, it does seem as though Jay Jones is trailing her by 5 percentage points. And the question, I guess, is, will she?
All right, let's mute this. You guys, if you're late, the reason why I have this on mute is because a lot of times when we stream other, things, they'll knock me off. They'll shut me off for copyright infringement if I'm playing the sound. And so that's why I have it on mute. We'll check in 30 seconds at a time, maybe a minute at a time. When they're doing the major announcements, then, you know, we'll do that. So that's where we are. But there are some other things that have happened, that have been happening. I want to look at this since we're talking about the election. Hold on. Let me open this up. So I don't know if you all saw this. Okay, let's see. All right, so Donald Trump, he posted, right? Of course he posted. He said, if the communist candidate, Zoran Mandami, wins the election for the mayor of New York City, it's highly unlikely that I will be contributing federal funds other than the very minimum as required to my beloved first home because of the fact that, as a communist, this once great city has zero chance of success or even survival. Okay, I just want to pause right there. Does everyone understand that Donald Trump just threatened to withhold federal funding if people of New York vote for Zoran Mandami? Does anyone understand? You can't do this, right? This whole year has just been rage reacting to you can't do this. You can't do this. You can't make these kinds of threats. This is election interference. This is what electioneering. Every poll that we go to, every polling station that we go to cast our ballot says no electioneering. You cannot do anything to try to influence the vote in this way. You can endorse somebody and say, you can easily just say that he endorses Cuomo, which he ended up doing at the last minute. But for him to say that if he wins, I'm going to withhold federal funding other than the very minimum as required, that is absolutely a terrorizing, tyrannical threat against the people of New York City. He says it can only get worse with a communist at the helm. Zoran Mandami is not a communist. If he was a communist, he might get a lot more support. I'm just going to put that out there. But anyway, it can only get worse with a communist at the helm, and I don't want to send, as president, good money after bad. What is he talking about? It is my obligation to run the nation, and it is my strong conviction that New York City will be the complete and total economic and social disaster should Mamdani win. Guys, it is not impossible for an entire city, especially a city of that size, to completely collapse under the rule of one person whose name is not Koch. Y'all wasn't there for Koch. Y'all wasn't there for Koch. I was there. I remember. But also, LaGuardia was more socialist than Mamdani. But y'all don't know nothing about that. Y'all hear LaGuardia, hear Fame School, and all the stuff like that. You think of LaGuardia Airport. Don't remember that New York had a mayor, okay? Fiorello LaGuardia. Anyway, his principles have been tested for over 1,000 years, and never once have they been successful. This is also not true. The Maotic way of being, which is the precursor of socialism, maintained stability in ancient Africa for thousands of years. It is actually a way of being that we need to return to. And basically, I am because we are, I am. Our community takes care of each other, and we all show up. That's the most ancient way of being. But I don't expect Europeans who, when they left the cradle and moved to the north and got fucked up by the cold weather and lost their goddamn minds, I don't expect them to understand what community looks like, right? I would much rather see a Democrat who has had a record of success win than a communist with no experience and a record of complete and total failure. He was nothing as an assemblyman, ranked at the bottom of his class, and as mayor of potentially, again, the greatest city in the world, he has no chance to bring it back to his former glory. Did he go to Bowdoin College? Isn't that where DeRay McKesson went? My homegirl got into Bowdoin, and they revoked the her acceptance because she kind of crashed out and failed all her classes senior year. But shout out to her, not giving her name. Shout out to her for recovering from that, and now she's very happy with her husband and her family. She has a cooking show. But anyway, he says, as a mayor, potentially, again, the greatest city in the world, he has no chance to bring it back to glory. We must remember this. A vote for Curtis Sewer, who looks much better without the beret. Why does this dude always want to talk about how people look? He said, is a vote for Mamdani. Whether you personally like Andrew Cuomo or not, you really have no choice. You must vote for him and hope he does a fantastic job. Mamdani, it is not. And so what's really interesting, what's Cory Booker saying? Oh, gosh. Sorry, I can't listen to him talk. He gets on my nerves. All right. So anyway, we're going back to this. Uh-oh. It said restart your browser if this continues. Uh-oh. Can y'all hear, Cory? Can you hear? Because I'm getting a thing that says your browser has lost connection to your screen share audio. Try sharing your screen again. Restart the browser if this continues to be a problem. Okay, that's fine. Okay, saved us the trouble. You couldn't hear him? Okay. Okay, that's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm going to stop sharing this. I'm going to close this. I'm going to stop, and then I'm going to try again, and then we'll see what happens, okay? Uh-oh. All right. So let's try, guys. Thank you I always appreciate that y'all are patient with me because I'm doing this all by myself.
I just wanted to check. We're up to 22% on the other big governor's race. That's
Wow.
the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Wow.
Wow.
How does she
Spanberger's
have
really in the lead now. It's only 22%.
Right. And remember earlier I said we'll keep an eye on Prince William County. It was.
What the hell is going on? Did y'all hear that? Let me know if you heard that. Let me know. Okay, now you can hear it. Okay, they told me to close it and then bring it back. Okay, thank you so much. No, listen. This is real shit right here. I get hit a lot with it, and I'm also having the worst year of my life. So I just am, at this point, I just let anything happen. Shout out to everybody who's in the chat. I appreciate you all so much for being here. As you can see, if you love and support what it is that I'm doing, if you're loving that I create this community for everyone, you see at the bottom, I have my Cash App, my Venmo, my PayPal, or what have you. If you want to drop a tip, I definitely appreciate it. It helps me pay my bills, help me keep my kid in college. I really appreciate that. That was a lot. And so, I mean, yes, election interference aside, right? The threat of withholding, and the reason why he gets away with this, y'all, is because he's been getting away with it. Yes, there have been decisions made. Judges have, found he can't do this, whatever. But he has attacked colleges and universities this way. He has attacked businesses this way. And he has also attacked individuals this way. And we can see by his campaign against Letitia James in New York City, he gets fixated on this. This whole thing for James Comey, he gets really fixated on people that he has designated as his enemies, and he wants to go after them, right? And that's kind of like weird. I appreciate you saying this. Yes, if everybody sent a $2, that's a light bill. Because you're damn right. You're damn sure right. My gas bill this month is $89, and my electric bill this month is $142. So that would definitely be helpful if everybody just sent $2. But anyway, have you noticed that Marjorie Taylor Greene is rebranding? Now, did I not call this? Can you hear me? You said you can't hear. Somebody said they can't hear. Or maybe they're behind me. I don't know. Marjorie Taylor Greene is rebranding, folks. Oh, thank you. And you know what? Thank you for saying this. I'm going to sign up for her Patreon. You can skip a few bought coffees a month. Honestly, I have, so on my Patreon, is what I got. I got $1, $3, $5, $7, $10, $17, $25, $33, $65. I have different tiers per month that you can support with, that you can jump in and support with regular things. Somebody put the link to my Patreon in the chat. That'd be really great. But it helps, right? And a lot of people be like, oh, I can't afford it. And I understand. I just want you to think about it. $1 is 25 cents a week. And Patreon has a setup that when you pay for a year in advance, you save money. So if you paid for a full year of my Patreon at the $1 level, that's $10.44. Okay. And so I do appreciate that. Y'all, like, and I said this in the last chat, I don't know if y'all were there, that like my housing, but what I have to pay for my house, my mortgage bill went up $600. And I was not prepared for that. And that's one of the things about living in this state is that like you don't have that kind of housing payment. And so I'm like, oh my God, $600 more a month, right? So, and I don't have a full-time job. You guys know that. I don't have health insurance. You guys know that. I actually have to have oral surgery. I'm going to be paying out of pocket. It's a lot of things. And so when you guys show up and you show up for me, and you support me, whether you are giving me Cash App or Venmo or PayPal, or you are subscribing to my Patreon, it helps. I cover my mortgage payment, with my Patreon. So I'm just letting you all know this is like super, super important to me. And I really appreciate your support. Okay, so enough of that. I don't like begging for that support, but, I do try to create a space, and I do try to provide analysis and content and things like that you all can like really rock with, and we can be together with this. So it does help when you support. Appreciate you. So anyway, back to Marjorie Taylor Greene, MTG. You said, I have this working theory that we need to start looking at DJT and MAGA as different parties, that if it would make sense. No, I said this like a year ago. Absolutely. I said that MAGA is different. I said MAGA is created. If you study American history and you kind of look at how these parties grow, right? You think of the Federalists and the Whigs, and how the Democrats used to be they were the Dixiecrats, right? And the Democrats used to be the racist ones, and the Republicans actually used to be the good ones. And then we have this switch and things like that. There's always an opportunity for new parties to emerge, right? You've got the Working Family Party, which still kind of aligns with the Democrats. You have libertarians. There's always an opportunity. Green Party, there's always opportunity for new parties to emerge. And I think absolutely that MAGA is its own party, or will officially break off. If Trump, they get him in the neck, or what, we've been saying that's going to happen, right? They're going to take him out, at some point. Or if he expires, what have you, because his health is terrible. Like, we can all see that he's a walking corpse. I think that's where we'll see the split. That's when we will see the split. And I think what MTG is doing is she is setting herself up. She's positioning herself for leadership. Now, a lot of people saying they're skeptical, she's a grifter, what have you. MTG, when I think about grifters, I think about people who push forward narratives that they don't agree with or they don't believe in. I think that Candace Owens is a grifter. I thought that Charlie Kirk was a grifter. I look at people like that. Robert Kennedy Jr. is a grifter, right? People who it's like, I do as I say, not as I do, those types of folks. And I don't think that MTG is a grifter. I think she believes in the shit that she she talks about. That's who she is. But I also, again, like a lot of people don't necessarily do, but that I do, I pay attention to these people. I watch the Senate hearings. I read the things that they write. I look at the interviews. And one thing I know about MTG, she is a mom to the core. Like she is a mom. Like she's definitely that white mommy blogger that loves her kids and stuff like that. She talks openly about her expenses and all kinds of things. Like lately, she's been talking about her own energy bills rising, her own grocery bills rising, right? And again, please do not read any of this as a defense of MTG. I think she's a horrible person. I think most of the people in the United States government, federal government, are horrible people. But if you want to understand the so-called other side, you have to humanize them in many. You have to allow for people to be human, even when they have different views. You kind of have to try to see where they're coming from, because that's the only way you get to defeat the shit that they're putting forward. You need to understand what their impetus is. What's their reason? What's their 13th reason? Right? You need to understand these things. She's a mom. She is from where she's from, Main Street, USA. She really does believe she is representing her constituents, and she is. They think like her. The whole QAnon stuff, she recently said that she got tricked by QAnon and stuff like that. A lot of people saying, no, she's lying, whatever. Here's what I need y'all to do. I need y'all to understand that people can wake up. I'm not saying that's what happened here, but I'm saying you have to understand that people can get caught. We have a regular who comes in here who got caught up in cult shit, okay? You have to understand that there are people, I follow people on Threads who have escaped cults, who have divested of it. I was raised in the church. I am no longer a Christian. And that took escape. That took waking up. That took a change of, change of point of view. And I think what's been happening lately is that MTG has a particular agenda, a right-wing evangelical kind of agenda, but she's seeing this other shit as happen. She is actually America first. And she's just like, why are y'all giving all of our money to all these other countries? There were a few of them like that. Charlie was like that. Tucker Carlson is like that. They're like, why are you giving all of our money to these other countries? We said we were America first, but then here you are giving billions of dollars away to other countries. You're funding this war and this genocide and things like that. They might not talk about genocide, but they damn sure were against funding Israel and giving them all that money. So you have a MAGA contingent that has been against the things that Trump is saying because they realize that he is not America first. And so and here's the thing, you guys know I'm a free speech hardliner. I believe people have the right to have the views that they want to have, and they have the right to express them. At the same time, I also allow for people to change their minds, right? And so again, she can be a grifter, or she could be somebody who's like, wait a fucking minute. This is not actually what we actually were supporting. We, and it's easy to get caught up in bullshit that you see online. Listen, a lot of y'all fall for the shit that you see online. No intellectual curiosity to see if the shit is real or not. No, you don't go research nothing. You just believe whatever it says because somebody is charismatic. I tell y'all all the time, fact check me. Don't take all the shit that I say as true. I am a researcher. I do move with integrity, but I'm not above reproach. And so sometimes, you listen to people online and you just believe what they say without discernment. You think that can't happen to her? That's happened to so many. I have been watching, so the Midas Touch, and they haven't done it in a while, or maybe I missed it, but they actually have one of their shows is people that are ex-MAGA, and they come on and they talk about, kind of their experiences. And I remember watching one episode where they were like, I was lonely. I got caught up in MAGA because I wanted community. I wanted to get out of my house. And these guys were getting together. And he's like, and it's one guy, I just felt him. He was like, they were getting together for beers. We were hanging out at the bar. We were going, shooting and things like that. I had friends, I had community, and it was very easy to get caught up in that. And he was just like, a lot of them divested after January 6th. They got so caught up that if you understand the mentality, what we talk about, mob mentality, that comes from lynch mobs. You understand how it gets caught up. It starts with 5 people and they keep moving, and then more people keep coming and coming and coming until you've got a big mob. And then everybody becomes afraid to speak. What they talking about? Hold on one second, y'all.
They are hoping to run up Republican numbers in places like Ocean County.
Okay, they're not talking about nothing. All right. But you guys have to understand this. Again, I don't want you reading this as defensive MTG. I don't like any of these people. But I need us to start being critical in our thinking. And I need us to, they're doing a projection, folks. They're doing a projection.
Abigail Spanberger will be elected the governor of Virginia, defeating the Commonwealth's sitting lieutenant governor, Republican Winsome Earl Sears.
Yeah,
Abigail Spanberger will become the very first woman governor in the history of the Commonwealth of Virginia. Again, CNN projects that Abigail Spanberger will be elected governor
we knew that was
of
coming.
Virginia. CNN's Jeff Zeleny is at the Spanberger campaign headquarters in Richmond.
All right. Well, we got that. All right. Cool. It's just this. Yeah, you have to kind of think about it this way. So MTG has been changing her tune quite a bit. And I do think that she is setting herself up to not go to The Hague. I think she sees the writing on the wall. And as odious as she is, I do think she's one of the smarter folks of their kind. And so we're seeing her speak out, right? Also, y'all, that Charlie Kirk shit scared people. We not even gonna lie. That Charlie Kirk shit scared a lot of people. They realized that folks out here shooting people in the neck, right in the throat for what they say. And don't think that ain't some real shit. I'm just be honest. They said, you ain't shooting me. I know I didn't say, and I was listening to her and kind of talking about how she got caught up in the stuff, and she was lied to and all the stuff like that. And I get it, like, girl, you need to take some responsibility. But also, I can see how it happens, and let's hope and see that maybe she's changed her mind. She's still gonna be conservative. She's still gonna do the things that she's gonna do, but maybe she stops pushing some of this nastiness and some of these lies and things like that, because it doesn't help anyone. You understand? So we'll see what happens. But she's got, hold on, I was going to share this real quick. I just want you to all to see this. So she's, the Jewish space lasers, right? Whatever. Oh, they done. Did y'all couldn't hear it? It's not playing. God damn it. Why are they hating on me? They're hating on your girl. Anyway, what she said was that it was like she said it was interesting. She said that she got lied to the same way that Sunny did, and that she was susceptible to what's on social media. And then she said, you all have said, you guys have attacked me many times, and you said things about me that are not true, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what she was, kind of talking about. Let me see if we can get the CNN back. Okay, let's see if we can get this back. Are they talking?
Of course,
y'all hear this?
the
Let me know if
question's
you
gonna
can
be,
hear
how does she
this.
govern?
Can you hear this?
And also, how does the party
Let me know. Can you hear it?
embrace her as they continue to try to fight back against Donald Trump? Cake?
Well, polls are about to close
Okay.
in New Jersey, and we're about to get our first results in the high-stakes battle between Democrat Mikey Sherrill and Republican Jack Ciattarelli. Both candidates campaigned on opposing viewpoints of President Trump's second
here we
term.
go.
Who's going to pull off a victory? Well, we have a key race alert, and with the polls closing, not a surprise, it is too early to call in the race between Democrat Mikey Sherrill and Republican.
Okay, so I just want to say something. Okay. The race should not be close. Should not be close at all. Mikey Sherrill, former AIPAC darling. Let me stop. She moved away from AIPAC. She did receive funding from AIPAC. Most of these motherfuckers did. Mikey Sherrill is very interesting. So here's what I was going to say. The other day, was it yesterday? Maybe the day before. People were arguing with me because I said that there was an Obamification of modern politics. And people were arguing with me and saying, oh, well, it started with Clinton and it started with John F. Kennedy. And I was just like, okay, you guys, obviously you're on an app called Threads, and then you don't read the threads. You only read the first thing and responded. But I'm going to read to y'all what I wrote in case you missed it. I said, The Obamification of Politics is a book that needs to be written. It needs to focus on how Barry's Leo charisma collided with the modern social media boom, creating a culture of political celebrity that we had not yet seen before. The shift led to politicians being treated like rock stars and voters developing parasocial relationships with their personas instead of focusing on their politics. We could start with Slick Willie, but social media wasn't what it was during his term, and that's a super important part of this. Barry's memification of politics pulled citizens farther away from their platforms, almost to the point when having a platform means little if you can't sell yourself and be a political influencer yourself. This is a part of where Harris lagged because she wasn't personable enough for the social media culture. And it is why J.D. Vance doesn't get a lot of traction. He's a loser. Okay, but we can talk about this, but every time I bring up something that Obama did while he was in office, I have plenty of people talking about, oh, wow, I didn't know that. Of course you didn't. You were too busy being mesmerized by his charisma and charm and not focused on what he was actually doing, because the PR machine, fueled by social media, had you all under his spell. Okay? That's what I said. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because Obama's campaign is how young people, particularly millennials, and I'm not talking about exennials, because you guys you're a little bit different. We're a little bit different. But I'm talking like millennials under the age of, let's say, 35. On down to Gen Z. All they know, right? All they know is this social media, political organizing, and things like that. They know Obama cool. They know the Hope and Change posters. They know all of that kind of stuff. And that's what they come to expect, right? Think about how they said the American justice system or injustice system has completely shifted due to what they call the CSI effect. How many of you remember the show CSI? CSI was a procedural show that every time they were solving cases and they had all these little particular pieces of DNA, they could find a hair here or a footprint here. And it said it changed the judicial landscape because jurors expect you to present an airtight case filled with DNA. And if you can't do that, then you're going to lose your case. The same thing I'm arguing has happened with American politics. If you cannot do what Obama did, you're going to lose. And Trump did what Obama did, right? Trump had a personality and a charisma. I don't find him charming at all, but some people do, because he reminds them of their racist uncle or their racist grandfather. So he was able to appeal to people on this kind of personal level that, yes, John F. Kennedy did have people like looking at him. He's so attractive, and there was a bit of cult of personality there. But there's something about the infusion of social media that changed everything. And when I was talking about, I said it created a cult of, political celebrity that we haven't seen before. People are like, we saw it with JFK. No. It's a new culture, a social media based culture. God, I'm just like, the words are right there, y'all. It's very different than anything that we've seen. Okay, they're calling another key race alert. What are they saying here?
Right now in New Jersey, Democrat Mikey Sherrill with 54.1% of the vote, and Republican Jack Ciattarelli with 45.3%.
Okay, did you guys hear that or no? No? Okay, well, it doesn't matter. Mikey Sherrill is 54.1%. Jack Ciattarelli, I call him Ciattarelli. Technically, I could pronounce it that way if I wanted to. So they're saying that she's in the league. But anyway, Mikey Sherrill did not run an Obama campaign. Mikey Sherrill is very matter of fact. She is a veteran. She is very much like, I'm not going to say stoic, but I think she sticks to the issues, right? She's very straightforward. Here are the issues. Here's what I'm running for. I don't have to dance with you. I don't have to toss babies in the air. I don't have to do these things. And that was kind of the approach that she was taking. The problem with that is that Mikey Sherrill did not appeal to Black voters in the state of New Jersey. Now, New Jersey is the most densely populated state. You have counties like Bergen County, Essex County, Hudson County, Camden County, right, that are largely Black. Passaic County also has some that are largely Black, right? Trenton is the capital. Trenton is a very Black city. Camden is Black city. And we're thinking central and south, right? We know Newark and Oranges and stuff like that. We know that those are Black. Jersey City, right? But she was not showing up. She did not have presence there. One guy was on Don Lemon, I forget his name. He said that he was volunteered to canvass for her. They did not have canvassing plans for these areas. And so it was shocking to me. And she definitely didn't come down to South Jersey. Like, no. And so to try to pull out Westmore and Obama at the last minute, it's like, all right, now you look like you pandering. Because where were you this whole time? You should have spent all your time in South Jersey. And here's why that's true. Is because Black people are going to vote Democrat. Overwhelmingly, not all of them, but overwhelming majority of Black people, if they vote, they are going to vote for the Democratic candidate. So fine, Northern New Jersey pretty much have that on lock. But there are Black people in South Jersey, okay? Black people who used to live in Philadelphia and decided to move across the bridge to Cherry Hill, to Glassboro, and things like that. You ignored these people. There's Black people in Atlantic City, okay? Atlantic City, destroyed by Trump, there are Black people there. And you decided not to come down and have any kind of like impact. So if you lose this race, it'll be in part because you abandoned, again, one of the strongest voting blocks in the country, and that is Black voters, okay? And I agree with you. Dems spend too much time courting white Republican voters rather than non-white people, especially the non-white and frequent voters. And you're absolutely 100% correct. When we're talking about get out the vote, we have to start thinking about other mechanisms for getting people to be inspired to vote. Again, I say, if I'm running for something, I don't want to win just because by default, because nobody showed up. I want to win because I invigorated people to come out. That is the thing with Obama, right? Again, we're back to this. What was different about Obama? Obama motivated people to come out to vote. And this was the first time there was a real, like, viable opportunity to elect a Black person or biracial person as president, someone other than a monoracial white man. And that was invigorating in itself. But then he was younger. He had, and again, that damn Leo charm. Bill Clinton is also a Leo. They are very good. And I know a lot of people are not really into astrology, but Leos are incredibly charming, okay? And they have the swag and charisma that draws people in, okay? And it's like hypnotic almost. And so that's also part of why people ignore the fact that, you know, Obama's a piece of shit and continues to be a neoliberal piece of shit. So, you know, you know, yeah, she had organization in Hudson County, and that's fine. The North is fine. The South, right? Again, Philly is the blackest large city that we have. When we talk about cities that have over 1 million people, Philly got the highest percentage of black people. A lot of those people moved over to South Jersey. They still work in Philly. They still socialize in Philly, but they live in South Jersey. So that's power there. I'm a member of the National Coalition of 100 Black Women of Southern New Jersey. Okay, there are sororities down here, fraternities down here, the NAACP, Gloucester County, Camden East, major moves down here. All she had to do was come down and speak and come and meet with these people. And they did it, and she did it. So again, if she loses, she's got to take the L for that, right? So that's where we are. First of all, I just also want to say, just as a point of analysis, with these elections being as close as they are, that speaks to the polarization of the country. Generally, the pendulum can swing, and right now, what people are looking for is for kind of a repudiation of. Is that a word? Repudiation, right? I think refute and then refute. Because what was the one that was like a repudiation? No. So yeah. Is we have to think about is that they're looking at these elections. It's cool, whoever wins, they win or whatever. But they're looking at these as like a statement on Trump. Everything now is a commentary on Trump. Okay. And so they're even looking at analysis to say things like, okay, well, if Mikey Sherrill only wins by 5 points or less, that's not good in terms of the midterm elections coming up. But if she wins by 8 to 10 points, then we can kind of say that Jersey is solidly kind of in that blue when it comes to the midterms. Jersey is purple. Jersey is purple because of South Jersey. Okay, it's because of Atlantic City, Gloucester County, who else is over here? Salem County, Burlington County, Voorhees, like all these places. They're saying that she's at 78%, but that's only 50 something, but it's not a lot of votes coming in. So the reporting is coming in from probably the major cities that have the better electronic systems and all that kind of stuff. It gets there and it's faster or what have you. So yes, Cape County, like, come on, like we gotta think about this. You know what I mean? So this is not a shoo-in for Mikey Sherrill. It's just not, right? So, and it's the same as it's not a shoo-in for Zoran Mamdani. Okay, the United States is still a white supremacist nation, and they hate immigrants. They hate anybody who is black or brown. They hate when you dare to be black or brown, and then you go and get an education, and when you have confidence in yourself, and you think they call you uppity. They think that you think you better than other people. Like, they want to penalize you for that. Like, they want to punish you for that. And it's like, yo, he's up against some shit, man. He's up against some shit. I'm just saying. So, but anyway, I'm also interested in the smaller elections. Like, what are some smaller elections that are happening in your regions? What do we need to be paying attention to, guys? What's happening? I heard some mayor races are happening. Put a 1 in the chat if you voted today. If you're in the US and you're eligible to vote, put a 1 in the chat if you voted today. No, you know what? Here's the thing. She says, I love how you bring consideration of zodiac stuff into politics, Doc. Not many people can do it and actually be serious. No, the reason why I'm serious about this is because, one, I married a Leo and I have a baby by a Leo. And then two, my other longest relationship, which was off and on for many years, was with a Leo. I am drawn to them as an Aries, right? We are drawn to their fire, their charisma. They dress well, they look great, they care about their appearance, they fuck well, they're romantic, they are enticing, they are all these kinds of things. We've also had a lot of Aries presidents, right? Aries are natural leaders, right? We have vision, we know how to execute, we're a leader. Tim Walz and I have the same birthday. Look at his personality. Very personable, a cheerleader, supportive, knows how to rally a crowd, knows how to garner support, has a magnetism that people can't really explain. These things actually kind of factor in a bit, you know? And I think about Slick Willie going into, I'm always going to call Bill Clinton Slick Willie, because that man was an absolute fucking menace. And I hate seeing his face. This is a sexual abuser. This is a horrible man, a horrible, horrible man. And I hate seeing his ugly face. But anyway, this is, you know, I consider it, you know. And so you did it. We love it. Got your mom to vote for Soren. That's what I'm talking about. That's activism. That's how you do it. Bronx is in the building. Bronx is definitely in the building. What was I going to say? Prop 50, California. Prop 50 is big. Okay. Going to read to you. Hold on. What are they saying? They still, Mikey Sherrill. She's got 63 to 20 something. All right, let's keep going. Prop 50. Prop 50 in California is on the ballot, special election, right? It authorizes temporary changes to congressional district maps in response to Texas's partisan redistricting legislative constitutional amendment. All right. You guys see this? All right. What does it mean? The summary: it requires temporary use of new congressional district maps through 2030, directs Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission to resume enacting congressional district maps in 2031, establishes policy supporting nonpartisan redistricting commissions nationwide, fiscal impact, one-time costs to the counties of up to a few $1 million statewide to update election materials to reflect new congressional district maps. And so what's happening in California, folks, is, you know, they see what happened in Texas with the redistricting. Didn't Crockett get redistricted? And so, you know, there's redistricting happening across the country, or their attempts to redistrict to get the Republicans more seats and get more representation. And California said, we could do it too, and we'll redistrict too, with the hopes of picking up more Democratic seats. And so, you know, that's that. So if you vote for California, I think California still got time to vote, right? If you want, you know, go out, make sure you go vote. Go vote based on how you feel. Now I'm gonna give y'all aren't gonna like what I have to say, but I'm against it. Okay, I wouldn't vote against it. You know, I would conscientiously abstain, but I don't like the idea of manipulating voting for redistricting purposes, because if you understand that it's bad when the Republicans do it, then you have to understand that it's bad when the Democrats do it. It's not. I understand that they're trying to do it as a corrective measure, but it's not fair, y'all. It's just not right, and it's not fair. And I don't support that shit. So that's just me. I understand you might not agree. All right, y'all. So I'm going to share this real quick. I have to run to the bathroom, but I want to make sure you guys can see this.
Change your glasses.
And I'll be right back.
Let's get you turned around, because the Aurora Borealis is that way. Vision works. See the difference.
Amazon offers hourly employees health care on day one for the whole family.
Mom, come quick!
Go, 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 go! Yeah!
Should I get Dad a Band-Aid?
At Amazon, hourly employees earn an average of over $23 an hour.
All right, what are we thinking?
Mega count.
Mega count. Oh. Guess this is mine now.
Hey.
We always give up to 10% fan cash on your bets, win or lose. Come on, boys!
Franklin University makes it possible.
So we go to Rome. The whole time I think that my boyfriend's going to propose.
And I knew he wasn't. It was basically the most unromantic, romantic trip ever.
I even ended up having to use my Sapphire Reserve card to pay for dinner because his card was not accepted.
Yeah, no ring, but at least you got the points.
I'm back.
What makes a post-university person?
I'm back.
Post people don't have time to waste.
Sorry,
They want to move their career forward. Post people don't have money to waste. They want.
I'm sorry. That was a commercial interruption. Oh shit. You know, my bladder ain't what it used to be. It's hard to be. Well, you know, usually when Dr. Hall is here, he can take over. I usually abandon him. I'm like, I go to the bathroom. Oh gosh. Y'all don't even let a sister have like a moment. I've been streaming since 7 o'clock, okay? It's almost an hour and a half in, or 46. I gotta pee. It happens. I was giving you a commercial break. Right now it's looking good, 64% to 35. But South Jersey, I don't know if South Jersey checked in yet. Because this shit's red as hell. I went to cast my vote today. Felt like I was walking into a Klan meeting. I walked in with a shirt that says the power of the black vote. I said, straighten me up. They go the tree, y'all. They probably came in here like, oh, I know who she's voting for. Oh gosh. Listen, I get it. But yeah, y'all, like, listen, we're just trying to make it. And so, as I was saying, sorry, I got sidetracked, but it's really important to remember that, like, while these elections have, local impact, right? Phil Murphy in Jersey did a lot for this state, and they're hoping that with Mikey Sherrill they can continue what's been going on. And one of her big things has been bringing down the cost of utilities, which has been a big issue. Like, we have seen our prices skyrocket, right? Unnecessarily. They just told me, you use 15% more energy. No, I didn't. You trying to steal my money from me. But okay, they're saying Bergen County was 52% for Murphy or Sherrill, and then now 60% for Sherrill. Yeah, it's pretty consistent. Bergen County, that makes sense. But they're looking at how this is going to affect the midterms. And so they are definitely looking at the range of, like, okay, if she wins by 5 points or less, that's scary for the midterms. If she wins by 8 to 10 points or more, then that's a good sign for the midterms. And I think that they're looking at that across the country, right? So that's why the Virginia race was what it was. And Trump refused to endorse Winsome because she's Black. He hates Black people. Like, Donald Trump absolutely 100% hates Black people, specifically Black women. I don't know what it is, but he's got this, like, it's almost like a goddamn kink he has for hating Black women. So there was no way that he was going to come and endorse Winsome Earl Sears. Like, no, that was not going to happen. And she's Jamaican. Come on. They're calling it for Mikey. Nah, it's too early. I'm sorry. I don't think that they should be doing that. You said they're calling it for Mikey. I don't know. I'm not comfortable with that. I'm just not.
Now, again, I just want to say,
don't know if I agree.
21% of the vote. So let's be careful. Again,
yeah, 21%
these
of the
are
vote.
early votes that are coming in. So there's Cumberland County.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's Gloucester County. And there's Atlantic County. Right? These are counties that Donald Trump flipped
went
4 years ago.
Blue?
He got close in New Jersey. Didn't win, but he got close. Let's see. If they stay blue, 2 out of 3 stay blue, and then the ones in the north, then she's going to be the next governor of New Jersey. But we're not there yet.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet, y'all. We're not going pre, ain't no pre-cum on this show. That's way too early, right? 22% reporting, that's way too early. Like, no, we're not doing that. No. No, but I think that, so here's the thing, the Democrats are terrible. We know the Democratic Party is gone. They're absolutely terrible. And they could be strategizing and thinking about ways to capitalize on these particular wins and stuff like that. They're not going to do that. They're going to throw everything away, mainly because they're all in bed with the Republicans anyway. And Trump has most of them by the balls with the blackmail. That's the only reason why Trump is getting away with the things that he does. You all know my theory that like he blackmails everybody. When he came in, they made sure, his administration, I should say, made sure that they dug up everything that they needed to dig up on people, things that could ruin their lives, because all politicians are corrupt in one way or another. And so they dug up all the things that they could find. The people who are not corrupt are the ones who have been the loudest, the ones that they couldn't find anything on. The people that he has to attack by calling them low IQ and things like that. Those are the people they couldn't find anything on. But everybody else, they got something on, and they're able to kind of control them in that way. I think what it's going to do is it's going to get, I think it's going to fracture the GOP and MAGA. I think if we have a nice Democratic sweep, right? I think if, progressive candidates in these major kind of elections, if they all sweep, I think we're going to start to see that splinter that is there with the GOP and MAGA. I think it's going to become a fracture. And I think that we're going to start to see people like MTG is doing, trying to separate themselves from the noise, because they're going to receive this as a rejection of Trump, right? And they're going to see this as a rejection of MAGA. And so if they want to continue their political careers, if they want to be successful in these midterm elections, they're going to distance themselves because the people are saying. And the thing is, so many of these votes are votes against Trump, right? Mikey Sherrill is not winning anybody like over, like nobody gives a shit. A lot of it is people voting against Trump. Same with Zoran Mamdani. I'm just going to be honest. I think that, yes, he does have a nice groundswell of support, but a lot of the votes he's going to get are going to be against Trump, right? And so the more that Trump comes out and like talks, there's probably people who were just like, I'm not going to vote. But then Trump puts out that thing today saying that he's going to deny federal funding. There's people that probably put on their clothes and said, you know what, I am going to go vote for Mamdani, because what the hell is this? It's stuff like that, right? So I think that these the elections today, the results of the election today, are going to say more about Trump's popularity, which, you know, the lowest ranked president since he was last president, right? I think it's going to say more about that. And I think if you're a wise politician, if you're a wise person who wants to serve their constituents, and you run in the midterm elections, you're going to distance yourself from the guy who just got patently rejected on November 4th of this year. You know what I mean? But you said, I really want to force coalition building, less of our turn to ruin every damn thing and more of let's work together on important stuff. Absolutely. And that is why I left the Democratic Party. Like, you know, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. And the reason why I left is because I don't think that they're good at what they're doing. I mean, first of all, we're living in the United States, right? There's a constitution, there's, you know, the Bill of Rights and all these things, there's all these amendments and everything like that. It's so funny because like I memorized all the amendments as a young child and I still remember them and I keep up with them. And it's so funny because like I'll be talking to people and they'll be arguing with me. And this does actually happen. Like people will like argue with me. I'll be at a bar and some dude will want to come up and talk to me. And then he starts arguing politics with me because that's what men do. Right. But anyway, I'll say something like, okay, well, what's the 17th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States? And they won't know it. So I don't know. It shuts them up. Does anybody happen to know what it is? Let me see what they're doing over here on the AP. They're still waiting for the Spanberger campaign thing. We're going to see what that's looking like. Is she up there? Is she coming to speak? I'm not sure. Anyway, that's the one that says you get 2 senators, but is she coming up to speak? No, people are just cheering. She's not there yet. When they come to the acceptance speeches, I will click over to those. Okay, I'm just monitoring it on my end to see what's happening here. We're just waiting for her to speak now. Right. Right. Because there's 4 people that live in Wyoming and 2 of them are senators. But sometimes you got to do that. You just gotta tell people, like, you gotta ask people, you know, what is the 21st Amendment to the Constitution? And then they shut up because they don't know. And so it's like, I don't need to talk to you. Uh-oh, they got a projection here. What is the projection? Oh, okay.
Lieutenant Governor of Virginia defeating Republican John Reed. Hashmi will be the very first Muslim and first Indian American to ever hold the job. She's also the first Muslim woman elected statewide in the country.
Y'all didn't hear that, right? Okay. I'm just wondering, did y'all hear that? So let me, did y'all hear that? Were y'all able to hear that? Let me know, because I'm trying to check the sound, y'all. Ghazala Hashami, first Muslim, first Indian. Okay, that's important. That might be a good sign for Zoran Mamdani, y'all. Like, you know, I believe in that kind of stuff, y'all. I believe in auras. I believe in premonitions. I believe in foreboding. I believe in projection, all of that. An Indian Muslim woman won lieutenant governor of Virginia. Perhaps that is the first of 2 Indian Muslims winning tonight. It might happen. It might happen. We want you know what? Actually, I want Mamdani to win. I do. Because here's why. Here's why I want Mamdani to win. I'm tired of young people not being represented in these major elected, these major elected positions. Okay. Why, and there's smaller towns that have younger people. I remember when Ithaca had like a guy that was like college age was the mayor or what have you. We see that sometimes in different smaller towns, smaller areas and things like that. But young people need to see themselves represented in government. Okay. A government of the people for the people, right? And so if the government elected officials are primarily older white men, that is not representative of the population. And so I want to see more women. I want to see more racialized people. I want to see more disabled people. I want to see younger people. I want to see all of that. People with different educational backgrounds, right? Everybody doesn't have to be a college graduate. Like, these are the things that I want to see. I want to see that kind of diversity, because that kind of diversity leads to representation. Sorry, y'all, I'm having some dental issues. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, sometimes it's acting up. I told you I have to get dental surgery. So I'm doing what I can do. But yeah, no, I hope he wins for that. I know he distanced himself from the DSA, while he was running because it was scaring people or whatever. But I support some of the things that the DSA is about. I don't think that they're radical enough for me, like Democratic Socialists of America. Nothing that comes in America is radical enough for me, but I do like what they're doing. He did not run on a DSA platform, and that was one of the disappointing things for me. And I wrote about it in my article, which is on my Patreon. So if you subscribe, you can go read it. Just look up Mamdani when you get there. I actually might have made it public. So if you go to patreon.com/Feminista Jones, you might be able to search Mamdani and you'll find my article. He did not run on a DSA platform. He ran on a Democratic platform, a more progressive Democratic platform, but not quite socialist, right? But there's what he's talking about, what he wants. At least I want somebody who's telling me that what they want is progressive. Okay. Free buses. Yes. People need transportation. Oh, excuse me. When you have free transportation, you're helping uplift people out of poverty. Oh, is she coming? Hold on. Let me see what's happening here. Is she coming? Let me know if you can hear this when I turn it on. Can you hear it?
This is
You
a
hear-
massive vulnerability for Republicans in 2026.
Let's just listen in to Abigail Spanberger, the next governor of Virginia.
Uh-oh. Why they fucking up the stream? Why y'all fucking up the stream? Y'all fucking up the stream. All right, here we go. All right, shutting down Instagram. I don't know what's going on, y'all. I'm gonna pause it till I get right. Let me figure out what's going on. All right, why is she back? I'm surprised they ain't shut us down yet. Right? Right? But also, Winsome. Oh, what is happening? You know what, y'all? I know what the issue is. I got too many tabs open, and that's my fault. It's my fault. Let me close some of these tabs. We'll close some of these windows. Okay, hold on. All right, let me share. All right, now I can share. She talking. She talking.
The country. We sent a message to the whole world that in 2025, Virginia chose pragmatism over partisanship. We chose our Commonwealth
No, it's real.
over chaos.
They're both boring. They're both uninspiring. And they won because
You all
people are
chose
voting against
leadership
Trump.
that will
And they're
focus
voting against extreme
relentlessly
conservatism,
on
extreme
what matters
like,
most.
evangelical republicanism.
Lowering costs,
That's what
keeping
it
our
was.
communities safe, and,
so,
strengthening our
Abigail,
economy for
I mean, she
every
talks a good
Virginian.
game, so let's see what it is. You know, but yeah.
Leadership that will focus on problem solving, not stoking division. We chose
No, I wouldn't
leadership
call,
that will always
Winsome
put
Earl,
Virginia
Winsome,
first.
Earl Sears a Nazi.
And Virginia, I cannot wait to get to work for you.
This is good. This is good. Let me look at that. Hold on.
Tonight we turned a page. We turned that page by listening to our neighbors, focusing on practical results, laying out a clear agenda, and leading with decency and determination.
Win Cincinnati.
To everyone who helped us achieve.
Okay, you gotta go. I'm sorry, Mikey. You gotta be quiet for a second because it looks like Aftab Purval wins Cincinnati mayoral election over Corey Bowman, half brother of Vice President J.D. Vance. Hey, again, these are important. This is an important outcome because it is a rejection of the administration. I'm not taking nothing away from Purval because I think, I didn't follow it close enough. And I'm not saying that this person is incompetent or isn't, capable of whatever. But people are voting against this presidency, this administration. That's just the reality of it. We have to acknowledge that for what it is. And that's wild, Dr. Hall, you're in Cincinnati. Did you vote for AFTAB? Yes. And again, this is why they're saying that this is important for the midterms, because the GOP and MAGA are going to have to go back into the barracks and re-strategize and figure out how do they maintain power and control. Now, we already know they're going to do everything they can to rig the midterm elections. Trump is trying to make it so that we don't have midterm elections. What I told you, remember what I said, guys? Trump is trying to start a war because he believes, after that whole thing when he was talking with Zelensky and whatever, he believes that if we are at war, he can come and postpone the elections, citing the fact that we are at war. This is what he actually believes. So Trump has been trying to start a war, either in Venezuela, and that's not really working well, or now Nigeria, right? He's targeting Nigeria. He's hoping to set off a war. And the focus on Nigeria, actually, guys, if you go to my channel, I have a video on the reasons why Trump is targeting Nigeria. But one of the reasons why Nigeria is appealing is because it's a nation of Black people. They don't care about the people there. They don't care if they drop bombs on Nigerians. They're Black. But he just wants to start a war so that he can come and say, my fellow Americans, have you noticed that he never says my fellow Americans? But anyway, he can come and say, we are at war. It is not the time to have elections. We need to stay the course and be a united front. That's what he's hoping for. And so he's doing everything he can to start a war. Go watch the film Wag the Dog, folks. Every time I bring up Wag the Dog, people are like, oh, what are you talking about? Go watch Wag the Dog, folks. So, I'm just saying. So this is awesome. All right, let me see what they're doing over. She's still talking. Hold on. Oh, yeah, I'm coming.
Virginia, I will have the honor of serving as your next governor.
Guys, we're just waiting for New York. Usually not here a long time, this long. Well, no. Sometimes when Dr. Hall and I get to talking, we do extend it a bit longer.
I want to thank so many people for the support that they have given to our campaign. Thank you for your work. Thank you for your support. To our tireless volunteers, to those who believed in me, thank you. Thank you for devoting your time, your energy, and your conviction to this campaign. Thank you for braving the weather, the heat, and then the cold, and then the rain, and then the sun. It's Virginia, after all. Thank you.
I do have a video reviewing Dreamchild,
the importance of this race. Thank you for recognizing that when we went person to person engaging, that we could bring people not just into supporting our campaign, but into engaging in our democracy. Thank you. We won this race because of you. To our campaign team, you're the best in the country.
I'm going to mute her just because I don't want to get kicked off, guys. I'm putting my review of Nightmare on Elm Street Dreamchild in the chat. It's actually my favorite of the series. Everybody loves Dream Warriors, but I think Dreamchild was the best one. I think it's interesting that the Vatican is positioning itself in almost complete opposition to the administration. I think we may see some effect in the midterms as long as there isn't a schism in the church. So I agree with you. And it's really interesting because J.D. Vance is, what is this, Corpus Day or Corpus Day, whatever the fuck they call it, that while extreme, I'm sorry. I just got a text from somebody I let see me naked. No, I think that with JD being this Catholic convert, you know, as of 2019, he was once identified as an atheist. He also said he was gay. Now that he's like this really weird Catholic, who's been talking about how he wants his wife to convert, and basically if she doesn't, he's going to go be with Erica Kirk. But anyway, Corpus Day, yes, okay. I think that the church has a duty to reject this administration, right? The church, with all of its corruption and pedophilia and sexual violence, is still the most powerful entity in this world. I hate that that's the truth, but it is. And so you've got this Pope from the US kind of being like, nah, don't associate me with that shit. And I think that's kind of what it is. Is it Opus Day? You know what? Theo is gay. And so I don't know, because J.D. Vance no longer identifies as a homosexual. I mean, I think he still is a homosexual, but and I definitely think Usha's a beard. But I also think she's his, you know, she's his he's her skirt. So, you know, everything about Usha screams she licks the nether lips. So that's just me. What do I know? Where's my banner? Allegedly. You're not gonna get me. You're not gonna catch me, Copper. No. Allegedly. She might know how to kiss both sets of lips. And it might be a lavender marriage. It is. The lavender is lavendering. Absolutely. 100%. Could be. Allegedly. What the fuck do I know? All I'm saying is that those people do not look like they like each other. And again, remember, political theater started with me doing analysis of people's body language and their speeches and things like that and giving you the real. And I look at the body language between J.D. Vance and Usha Vance, and them niggas do not like each other. They don't like each other. They do not like each other. I think that how do I say this? Because I don't want you all to think that I'm defending her. I think that she saw an opportunity to create a family, to get a white man, which is a goal of many South Asian men and women, right? People, like, to come to the United States and to be accepted within the United States. And if you are able to get a white spouse, you really have done everything. She comes from a caste that is whatever, like, that's what I think the goal was to come and to get a white man, right? So she did that, right? She clerked for conservatives, right? But her mother is like a liberal progressive, which is very interesting. I do not think that Usha Vance is just some, ignorant, silly, pretty face or whatever. No, I think she is calculated. I think she's very intentional, very smart. She was working at a progressive law firm, which is really interesting. So I don't think that she's innocent here. However, this is just my thoughts. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with everything that I'm saying. But I personally think that she was not prepared for this. And the reason I say she wasn't prepared for this, because J.D. Vance was not prepared for this. J.D. Vance was Peter Thiel's apprentice, his neophyte, right? And so I think that with Peter Thiel linking up with the other tech bros and these accelerationists, they saw potential in JD Vance to have him be their guy on the inside. And so when they purchased his positioning, right? Because he called Trump Hitler. If you go and look at his past things, he was seriously critical of Donald Trump. He cannot stand Donald Trump. He hates him, like literally. And you can tell every time he praises him, you can tell it's the fakest thing. It's like, so, you know, they talk about an orgy of evidence, and it's like way too much and you're too obvious. That's JD Vance when he talks about Trump. He hates him. But when you see him and you watch him when he's in the background and Trump is talking, he cannot, his body language, he cannot hide his body language. And his body language screams, I can't stand this bastard. You know, I'm just waiting my time. I'm biding my time until he's gone and I get to do what I need to do. Trump had no idea who JD Vance was. JD Vance was dropped on his doorstep and Trump was told, this is going to be your vice presidential candidate. We own you, right? Remember my theory that Elon Musk purchased Donald Trump's debt, and that's why he got all this access to all of our data. But he was put there, he was planted there, and they were like, no, this is what it's going to be. This is what you're going to do. And that's it. That's where we are. And I don't think that Usha, when she got with JD, whatever his name was at the time when they got together, when they got married, and he was still supportive of her being Hindu and dressing up in traditional garb and all those kinds of things, I don't think that she expected that she was marrying a man who was going to be tapped to be the vice president of the United States, guys. I think she was just as shocked as the rest of us when he got asked to be the vice president or tapped to be the vice president. So do I think that she signed up for this? No. Do I think that she's been going along the ride for her own career boost and her own kind of self-fulfillment and all those kinds of I am woman, hear me roar? Yes. So that's where I sit on the Usha Vance thing. I do not think she signed up to be second lady of the United States. And you can see that she has aged drastically in not even a year since, they have taken office. And that is from stress. That is from living with the knowledge that that your husband is participating in the destruction of millions of lives and you're too weak to leave him. Either that or you're living under a threat of something else. I don't know. Or you've just decided to go along with it and become a sinister bitch. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It sounds like, I don't see Trump making it to next summer. I don't see it. I don't see it. Yeah. Yeah. We are too close to the New York race for them to still be showing her talking. Let me see who else is on here. Let's see. Election 2025. Let's see. Let's see. I got to go to YouTube TV. YouTube TV. Let's see what we got. I'm already in them. Sign in. Let's see what we got. Okay. She's still talking. Everybody is covering her. Oh, wait. Let's see what Fox News has to say, guys. Hold on. I love watching Fox News. It's so funny.
He's not a communist. Hence said he was a communist. I'm bothered more by the fact that.
Well, wait a second.
I'm bothered.
What is rent freezing and free
Gotta
transportation
pee,
and government-run grocery stores?
I want to be clear on one thing. I'm as troubled by his anti-Semitism as anything he's been about and talked about in this campaign. The economic issues. Look, we live in a time, we talk about unprecedented times, and some of it I like, some of it I don't like. President Trump has used our tax money to invest in American companies that he believes are important to national security. Some of that I agree with, some of it I don't. 10 years ago, if we were having this show and you had Republicans on and Democrats, Republicans would be totally against that. We've upended our politics in the country. And I don't take it quite as far.
Democrats Republicans are calling for the death of children.
The Republican Party today is very different than it was 10 years. My only point is this: I don't begrudge anyone from analyzing and accepting results like they want. We have elections in our country every 4 years. This is an off-year election. Democrats had a good night. I'm not going to say Democrats is the greatest thing in the world. We're going to win the presidency. We're going to win midterms. And nor do I think you should go the other way either. However, that's your choice. I think tonight Democrats will celebrate the two women one has been declared a winner. The other looks like she could be declared a winner here in a short time. This is a good thing for Democrats, particularly when you contrast it to Mondami. There's no doubt. Right. If Mondami was not the nominee in New York, we wouldn't be so cheerfully talking about moderates. Although I do believe that Mikey and
I like watching Fox. They're funny to me. We don't know what he was saying. We don't even know what he was saying. Okay? But, you know, I had to go to the bathroom, y'all. I'm sorry. I had to pee. I'm back. I had to come back. Is that Harold? Was that Harold Washington? I don't know. Was that Harold Washington? Because Harold Washington, was his name Harold? Is it Harold Washington? Goodness Christ. Harold Ford Jr., thank you. The reason why I was like, not Washington, Harold Ford Jr., I met him a long time ago. So first of all, I went to Penn. You guys know I went to Penn. And he started a newspaper on our campus called The Vision when he was an undergrad. And the newspaper had gone dormant. And so when my class got back there, we revived the newspaper with his support. And so I got to meet him. He was campaigning and stuff like that. We had dinner and stuff like that together. I did not expect that he was going to be kind of turning in the way that he has. That is a black man, though. He looks terrible.
Thanks for having me.
It's wild that I just didn't actually recognize him. He looks terrible. He looks absolutely terrible. So let's see what CNN is saying. Hold on, guys. No, he looks terrible. Okay, hold on.
Ago that Zohran Mamdani himself is actually putting the final touches on the victory speech that he is hoping to.
I hope he wins. Let's hope he wins, guys. We're gonna come on. No, that's a man. That's a black man. That's a black man who comes from a lineage of light-skinned, super light-skinned, damn near white. Like we call them in our community, call them light bright, damn near white skinned black people who breed each other to remain light bright, damn near white. And I didn't expect that. Like when I met him, he was cool. He was still younger or whatever. But honestly, that we're talking 25 years ago now. So, you know, he looks terrible. He looks absolutely. He used to be cute. Yeah, for a light skinned guy. You know, he used to be cute. But, you know, he decided that he wanted to go into being conservative. And, you know, let's look at some images here. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, he looks more white as he's gotten older. Yeah, he definitely looks whiter as he's gotten older. I'm going to show you guys. Hold on. Look at this. This picture here on the right. Let me make it bigger if I can. Hold on. Yeah, this picture on the right here. That's the guy that I met. That's the guy that I met. This guy right here. And this is the guy that you guys just saw. It's a very different guy. Right? And I think this was his wife. So their kids, yeah, he's bred out the black. But yeah, that's him right there. But that is a black man. That is a black man. When he was younger, this is what he looked like. This was a black man. Look at it. Look at the pictures, guys. This was a black man. Was. And this is him with Barack Obama. Look at that. And Barack Obama, endorsed him when he was running, But there are black people that do breed out the blackness. It's their choice, and that's what they want to do. Couldn't be me. I love being black too much. I don't know about y'all. What are they talking about over here?
To close in
They're
this
about to
marquee
close,
election
guys.
of the night as the Big Apple seeks
This is
to
the biggest
elect
one, I
its
think,
next
of the night,
mayor.
honestly.
Will Zoran Mamdani pull off a victory? We do have a key race alert. And the polls in New York are closed, and it is too early to call. Too early to call in New York. CNN's
Didn't Adams
David
drop
Chalian.
out?
Well, let's go to New Jersey right now.
Is he
If we
still
can
on
bring
the
in
thing?
those poll numbers. There we go. New Jersey, with 32% of the estimated vote in, Democrat Mikey Sherrill has 58.9% of the vote.
She's still there.
Republican
but-
Jack Ciattarelli has 40.6% of the vote. Sherrill right now, more than 188,000 votes ahead with an estimated 32% of the vote.
Well, at
in.
least they reached a
We're
million
expecting,
votes.
A lot more votes to actually come in before we actually get an idea of what's
32%,
happening
they
with
reached
that
a million
contest.
votes.
CNN's
That
David
means
Chalian
that there's
has
probably
some
going
new
to be
exit
3-4
polls from New
million
York
votes
City,
total.
determining how
That's
key
terrible,
demographic
Jersey.
groups in
What
New York
the
City
fuck is
voted.
going
David?
on?
That's exactly right, Jake. First, we're taking a look at young voters, 18 to 29-year-olds. They make up 11% of the electorate. If that holds throughout when we get the rest of the data in the exit polls, that's a slight uptick from what we
Of
saw 4
course
years
the
ago. So
18,
a
20 to
slightly
9 is
younger
going for
electorate,
him.
that could help Mamdani. He's winning young voters 75%. To
75% young voters,
He's
that's Gen
walloping
Z.
Cuomo with the young vote, and they make up a bit more than they did 4 years ago.
That's Gen Z.
Non-college voters without a college degree,
Look at this.
42%
Look at
of
this,
the overall
yeah.
electorate. Cuomo's winning them, but narrowly, 42% to Mamdani's 38%, Sliwa getting 16%. African-American voters in New York City, they make up 18% of the electorate. Nearly one
All
in five
right,
voters
but look
are
at
black.
the 37%
Mamdani is winning
black
the black
folks.
vote by 15 points. 52% for
Crazy.
Mamdani, Cuomo at 37%, Sliwa down
is
at 5%.
crazy.
And among Jewish voters in New York, 15% of the New York City electorate is Jewish,
Oh
so
my
a big Jewish
gosh.
population, given what Jews are nationally. Cuomo's beating Mamdani 2-1.
That's crazy. I can't. What the hell is going on? But you know what? It's actually not that bad. Were y'all able to hear it? We got able to hear it. Zoran has got 422,000 votes. Yes, he could still win, you guys. This is not, come on. This is not a shoe-in. That's the whole point of the post that I made. I was like, go vote. He is not a shoe-in, y'all. Like, it cut out a little bit. Okay. I cut out a bit. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate it. I don't understand how Sliwa got 65. That's Staten Island. That's Staten Island. The fools in Staten Island. Anyway, sorry. Another text message. Yeah, he was still on the ballot. So I think probably he dropped out. You know how like with the ballots, when they already print them and stuff like that, somebody drops. That was the same thing, excuse me, that happened with RFK Jr. Like he dropped out of the race or whatever, but he was still on the ballot. So that happens. I'm cutting out. Hold on. Test. Uh-oh. Hold on. What about now? Can you hear me now? Oh, geez. Can you guys hear me? I'm out. I'm gone. Can't hear me? You can hear me. Okay. Okay. Thank you. All right. I had to try 3 different mics. Okay. All right. I'm here. I'm here, guys. I know it may not be the best, but I'm here. I'm using the mic on these now. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, it's working. Okay. So this is the mic that's on this. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Thank you. I appreciate it. Somebody stole my AirPods. I was able to track them to 2 miles away. So Mamdani at 51. What are they talking about? Hold on. Let me get some sound on this. Let me know if y'all can hear it.
Again, this is sort of young professionals, the Mamdani base versus the big money in Manhattan, which doesn't want a Democratic socialist who says he's going to raise their taxes. Reasonably
Which
competitive,
is not
with
true,
about 40%
by the
of the
way.
vote in. But again, Mamdani
Still up by 9.
above 50%.
Yeah.
I say reasonably competitive because the rest of it is not. But if you look at it right now, if it begins this way, if it ends this way, Mamdani's going to make history.
So I will just say, first of all, Mamdani's the story of the night, absolutely 100%. But just to touch on the Staten Island issue of this, it will be interesting to find out how many of these voters voted today versus voted early, because with the head of the Republican Party, Donald Trump, the president, saying, don't vote for the Republican who won, he became the Republican candidate in a primary process. Vote for the independent who lost in the Democratic primary process. Lost in the Democratic primary.
27% of Staten Island went to
How many
SLEWA.
of them seem to follow his lead is interesting.
It is interesting.
That
I'll tell you, before
21%
Trump said that, I
is
was out
Wu-Tang.
on Staten Island. I went to all 5
It's
boroughs
Wu-Tang.
about 10 days, 2 weeks ago now. And
I just,
the torment of Republicans.
Wu-Tang and all their kids are that 21% that's voting for Mamdani. We can't secede from Staten Island. I mean, come on. We need 5 boroughs. 5 boroughs is what makes New York what it is. 5 boroughs. Can't let go of Staten Island just yet. I think we're all invested in the New York City race because, again, like I was saying, there's so much here. A young person winning, right? Someone under the age of 40, taking leadership of arguably the most important city in the country, therefore making it one of the most important cities in the world, right? 9/11, they attacked New York City as a statement on how we spend our money and what our money goes to, right? That was the World Trade Center, Wall Street. They attacked Wall Street for a reason. So United States has a few strong cities, but New York really isn't. And I'm not saying that because I'm biased because I'm a New Yorker. I'm not saying that. It's not what it is. I'm just, but what was the question? I'm on my, am I, what is happening here? I feel like I'm freezing a little bit. Let me close this one. Just want to make sure. I'm closing tabs, folks. I'm closing tabs. Closing tabs. Closing tabs. I agree. Wu-Tang and Black Long Island. It's really important. Like Black Long Island. Did you see the documentary, The Sixth Borough? I can't recommend it enough. It's a documentary that looks at Long Island and its influence on hip hop music. It's a fantastic documentary. I saw it at the Black Star Film Festival this summer. You said, in undergrad, I was told 9/11 was because of an airplane runway George W. was trying to build in Saudi to get oil, so that the attack on Wall Street makes sense. I kind of think it was an inside job, but that's just me. Yes, Public Enemy at Long Island. It's right there. We got to keep. Come on, Chuck D is prominent in this documentary. If you haven't yet seen it, please go watch it. It's fantastic. Rakim De La Soul, Method Man grew up in Long Island, right? He played lacrosse in Long Island before heading to Staten Island. A lot of people don't know that about him. I met him many, many years ago. I spent a whole evening with him. which kind of soured me towards him. I can only hope that in the years since he has grown and matured as a man. I know everybody thinks he's very attractive, he's a talented rapper or whatever, but I saw a side of him that kind of soured me to him. But I do allow for people to change and grow. You said that Charlemagne is doing political commentary on the CNN app with Ben Shapiro. I have zero interest in that, like completely. I have actually negative interest. Actually, you owe me interest for posting that. Like you owe me for disrupting my life by saying that. They keep having Rahm Emanuel. Has anybody noticed that Rahm Emanuel has been just everywhere lately? I don't know if anybody's noticed that. Charlemagne is stupid as shit. Charlemagne is like, he's so beyond stupid. Like it just really gets to me. So I don't know. I don't know. They're saying Abigail won by a 15-point margin. That's big. So remember what I said earlier, that the margins matter, right? Anything over a 10-point margin is an absolute indictment, of Donald Trump. It is absolute repudiation of Donald Trump. It is saying we are not here for this administration. The blue wave is coming, expected to come in the midterms, which means that we can all expect that he is going to bring the hammer down even more over the next few months in reaction to what happens now. Benefits, all this stuff with the SNAP and the insurance and all that stuff like that, you throw that away. If the Democrats win across the board tonight, oh, you best believe the pain is coming. The suffering is coming. I am in a very tenuous position right now because I cannot speak to someone in the government because the government is shut down. So every day that the government is shut down, I am living with immense anxiety because I have a very serious problem that I need to reconcile and resolve. And I can't because the government is shut down. When we're talking about pain and suffering that we've never seen before, like I like to use his phrasing, unlike anything we've ever seen before, it's coming. It's coming. He's going to punish us for voting for the Democrats, or he's going to do his best to punish us for voting for the Democrats. And I hear you. I think it's going to be more than a toddler fit, though. We're going to get executive orders. We're going to get military action. It's probably going to kill more innocent people in the Caribbean waters, South American waters. He's probably going to drop some bombs on Nigeria or something like that. It's bad. And so I agree with you. I think that he is going to have this eruption of things, and that MAGA, and I don't think it's MAGA, I think it's actually GOP. Again, there's going to be a split, a MAGA and a GOP split. I'm not sure what side he lands on. I think that JD Vance is lands ironically on the GOP side. I think that MTG is on the MAGA side, and I think that's where we're going to start to see those splits. That's just me. What do I know? Sorry, I'm holding on to see if Mamdani wins, if they call it for him. I am in a little bit of pain right now. Winsome got over 1 million votes, y'all. 77% is in. She did her speech. What happens if the rest come for Winsome Earl? Sears. Ciao. 3 out of 4 people. 3 out of 4 precincts have reported. What happens if the other 25% would come in? And then for her, then we gotta come back and be like, oops. Not Spitzen. Not Spitzen. So I think that there is room for another party to emerge, and this technocrat class, I think there's room for them to create a new party, right? Ain't gonna be nothing but a bunch of white dry dick losers, but there's an opportunity for that. They might be able to convert some of the libertarians because those guys are assholes. I agree, correct. Winsome getting that many votes shows just how ridiculous this damn electorate is. 100%. 100%. There's no way she should have gotten that many. And if Trump had endorsed her, she would have won. She got all those votes without Trump endorsing her, folks. I feel like that's important. I feel like that's just something that we need to acknowledge. Oh man, but he's racist. So I'm posting on threads that VA can thank Trump's racism for Winsome Earl Sears losing, because she got over 1 million votes, and had he endorsed her, she would have won. I said it. You guys got to see me type that out. That's my process. You guys get to see the behind the scenes process. What are these guys talking about? What are they saying?
But just based on what we're seeing so far.
Let's see what the Vanderbilt is saying.
In big urban counties around the country, Wayne County in Michigan is a great example of this. A place they should have had didn't lose, should have had a much higher vote count.
Yeah, where she underperformed.
Very much underperformed. And it was a pattern. We saw it in Milwaukee, we saw it in Detroit, we saw it in crucial areas of Philadelphia. Here's Mamdani, who comes around with a message that moves young voters, gets people to vote. 17% of the early vote was people who had never voted in a mayoral election before. Now,
that's
the
interesting.
Democrats,
that's really
forget
interesting.
ideology for a moment, forget face of the party. Just, we will win if we motivate people, if we energize people to come out. Our own already registered Democrats. But imagine what we can do if we get a bunch of people who weren't even in the game to come in and get involved.
Exactly. That's
Barack
it.
Obama,
Exactly.
changed the playing field.
They need to have me on these shows.
And
I don't know why there's people that are trying to call it for Mamdani, but they're saying he's projected to be the winner. But I don't know. CNN ain't do it. Jake Tapper ain't did it. King did, John King hasn't done it. I don't trust it. They're saying they're about to call it though. Let's see.
Meet a new way to experience.
That's a commercial. What the fuck? I don't need a commercial. I don't need a commercial. We don't need a commercial. No, CNN ain't call it. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. I just want to know. Oh, they just said that Kansas lacked the votes to call a special session to redraw their congressional maps. That's good. That's very good. That's a win for Kansas. We don't want them. We don't want them doing that. You're looking at. I know. I want to see Tapper's face too. It's only 3% in. I don't understand people calling it. That's crazy. That's so irresponsible. It's irresponsible. What are they talking about? Yo, I hate this. I hate this. It ain't over till it's over. That's real. It is not over till it's over. Who called it? Nobody called it. Like, this is crazy. Like, what are you talking about? What'd they say in Pennsylvania? Hold on. Hold on. I just saw something about Pennsylvania, y'all. Did Pennsylvania retain all of their Democrat judges? Because that was a big thing. Pennsylvania had a whole thing about the judges. That was major, actually. That was I should have mentioned that before, that one of the things for Pennsylvania is that they were voting to retain their, like, I think their judges for another 10 years. And yeah, Democrats retain all of our Supreme Court justices. That's good. That's good. This is crazy. I'm sorry, everybody. Like, these people are talking about this, and it's coming from all the Democrats, by the way. Like, I follow a lot of elected Democrats. This doesn't make sense. Like, who's projecting? This is Decision Desk HQ. No, we don't trust it. Well, it ain't Jake Tapper. It ain't. I don't trust it. It's not Jake Tapper. It ain't Jake Tapper. I'm sorry. I can't do that to y'all because I'm about integrity. Integrity matters to me, and I don't like that, you know, people are calling it. I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, we want him to win. Again, I don't want people reading this as though I don't want him to win, but like, come on, y'all. Like, you can't call a race with less than 50% of the votes in. Like, that's not smart. That's crazy. I don't know. What y'all think, y'all? We'll see. We'll see. I'm looking at this. They're saying he's got 40. They're saying he's got 51.7% of the vote. I don't trust it. Sorry. I don't trust it. They're gonna do it. They're gonna do it. Here we go. Here we go.
Race alert in the New York City
No, it's
mayor's
not
race.
enough.
Democratic candidate Zohran Mamdani is ahead, 49.6% of the vote. In second place, independent candidate and former Governor Andrew Cuomo with 41.5% of the vote. Republican Curtis Sliwa is next with 8.1% of the vote. Incumbent Eric Adams, who is no longer running, with 0.3% of the vote. So Zohran Mamdani right now is just under 95,000 votes ahead of Andrew Cuomo. That's with 52% of the estimated vote in. Still a lot of votes to count.
I'm sorry, y'all.
I just for Zohran Mamdani in New Jersey and the governor's race there. Democrat Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill has 56.6% of the vote. Republican Jack Ciattarelli with 42.9% of the vote. Sherrill right now with a significant lead of more than 265,000 votes. That's with an estimated 59% of the vote.
Again,
in.
So
a lot
this
of
is
the vote
what
has come
frustrates
in since
me.
we
Hold
last
on.
spoke. Let's go now to CNN's John King.
This is what frustrates me about this, is that everybody wants to be the first to call something, right? She gave a whole speech with barely 50% of the votes in. She gave a victory speech. The votes are still coming in. For all you know, he could see a surge in votes from South Jersey or wherever. Like, that's the thing. That exactly. The question is always which precincts are in. And so I just think that it's irresponsible for people to call that. Like, and if I'm Zohran Mamdani, I'm not giving a speech. I'm not playing myself. It's too close. I was there. I'm traumatized by this. People went to bed believing that Hillary Rodham Clinton had won, and she didn't, and had to concede. I've hosted election night. I was there for Harris as we all sat together, and as it began to sink in that she was not finna win. Listen. I don't know. I don't know. It's just me, y'all. I don't know. Let me take my voted thing off. I did vote for Apex Cheryl though. I did my part. Somebody said, yeah, this is like the Knicks having a 20-point lead in the third quarter. That is so real. That's so real. Oh, these people really believe. I'm like, nah, man. Oh, they got a projection.
The Democratic
Well,
Congresswoman
yes.
and
We know this.
former Navy helicopter pilot Mikey Sherrill will be elected the next governor of New Jersey. Mikey Sherrill defeating Republican former state assemblyman
Wait, did I
Jack
mess this
Ciattarelli
up? Did I?
for the first time in 60 years.
Am I not live?
Democrats will hold
Yeah,
on to
no,
the
I'm live.
governor's seat in the Garden State for 3 consecutive
They showed her
terms.
giving a
Sherrill
speech
will
before
also become
they
the
called
state's
the
first
election.
female Democratic governor. They previously had
That's
Republican
crazy.
governor who was a woman. Again, CNN projecting that Democrat.
Am I tripping? Whew. 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 I don't get it. I just, what do I know, folks? Like, not like I know anything about politics. Maybe they say they think I'm making it up. I'm not making it up. Mikey Sherrill is saying she's gonna win. Let me take the comments up. Only 61% of the precincts are in. Oh my gosh. They're calling it with only 61%. I can see if we're at 75, right? I don't know, y'all. I just am I wrong? Like, am I tripping? Y'all tell me if I'm tripping. I don't think that they should be calling the election before like 75% of the precincts are in. Oh yeah, it was Spanberger. No, I confused the white women. I'm sorry. No, respectfully, I'm sorry. They look alike. Yeah, I may think that that's bigoted or whatever, but those, come on, y'all telling me Mikey Sherrill and Spanberger don't look alike? White people know how to distinguish each other. Y'all look the same to us. Same way y'all say we all look alike. I'm just saying they look alike. Y'all said I'm straight. Look at them. They look alike. Okay, maybe Mikey Sherrill's hair is a little bit darker, but they look alike. These are the same ladies. They're both stoic white women, girl bosses who leaned in. Come on. I'm not wrong here. Where's the love? You're not fitting to abandon me tonight. They look like the Frozen sisters. They do. Jeez. You know, oh man. And we thought about Gore in 2000. Somebody on Threads brought up Gore in 2000. We thought this was going to happen. And then the hanging chads came. You can't, I'm sorry, 52%. Somebody said, well, it's a pretty solid method of prediction. No, it's not. Hillary Clinton in 2016. No, it's not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Somebody's like, how are they calling it 5 minutes after the polls close? They can't. This is ignorant. It's irresponsible. But I think what happened was, this is what I think, because guys, I know how the Democratic Party is. They send out the same messaging to everyone. Like they put out like an email blast, they do a phone blast, and they get people to post that. And then it gets everybody riled up, even if it's not the truth. I know this. Like, trust me, I'm a bit of an insider. I know this is how they operate. And so what we saw were all these elected Democrats and Democratic pundits all posting the same picture at the same time. You have to see through, again, this is political theater. You have to see through and cut through the nonsense. That's why I'm like sitting here like, yo, I'm gonna bring you the real. I'm always gonna bring you the real. We don't fall in line for that shit. You know what I mean? His wins are too small in the Republican strongholds. No, I get it. And the thing is, it's like, okay, Gloucester County, they said Atlantic County, they were showing that they were blue kind of, but we haven't seen any updates. I ain't seen no updates. Y'all seen some updates? I haven't seen any updates to that. Oh, I don't know. What do y'all think? I don't know. I don't know. I just think that white women should probably be a little bit like more careful. I don't know, because the curse of Hillary Clinton is a thing. Like, am I wrong? Am I tripping? Am I tripping? Am I tripping? Y'all, I'm sorry. I didn't mean, Iris, we didn't mean to trigger you. I'm sorry. So the 80% in VA is solid. I'll take it. 80%, I'll take that. But I need at least 75% before I say anything. Somebody says CBS posted. Stupid. I'm like, they're like, no, she posted and she won. No, that has nothing to do with the number of. Okay. All right. Here's what I hope. I hope she wins. I hope Mamdani wins. Because if not, y'all gonna have all the fucking pie and pie on your face tomorrow. You gonna have foot in your mouth. You gonna be eating crow. All of them phrases to show that you feel fucking stupid. Okay? Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I mean, maybe I'm Debbie Downer. I don't fucking know. Maybe I'm Debbie Downer. What are they talking about over here?
He flipped 5 counties. Tonight, we're not completely done yet, but at this moment, with 63% of the vote in, Mikey Sherrill has won all 5 of those counties that Donald Trump just a year ago flipped from blue to red. And so that's called never mind, right? Never mind. We're going back to vote for the Democrats. And that includes at the moment Passaic County, which was the big county. This is a plurality Latino county. Right. Republicans were saying that's our ticket to the future. We're bringing
because you
and voters of color into our party.
And again, it's was election. Destroying
However,
lives.
When you see that, it's only 38%. We'll see if it holds up. That's one thing. But in New Jersey, you see her progress, running better than Harris, bringing back counties that went for Trump. Now let's move down to the Commonwealth of Virginia, because I want to show you something similar that Democrats will talk about heading in. Okay, so you come into here and you say, did Abigail Spanberger outperform Kamala Harris? Not everywhere.
They're saying MSNBC called it. I don't trust them
key
niggas.
Places in the Washington suburbs where the people live. Down here along the coast, right? That county, the Virginia Beach County, Glenn Youngkin won that 4 years ago for governor. Spanberger wins it tonight and outperforms what Kamala Harris did in the presidential election. This is what strikes me as most significant right here. In most of these rural counties, it's only by a little
Well,
bit.
we're gonna mute them again. This is tough, y'all. Like I'm just like, people trying to explain this shit to me. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck, I watched the Atlanta Falcons blow a 28-3 lead, okay? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Anything can happen. I'm sorry, y'all. It's I don't. So they're saying I'm looking at a thing. Hold on. It's saying, let's look at this. Hold on. Oh, they predicted it. Okay. So CNN is predicting it. Hold on. Let me see. Share this tab. Let me see. They're predicting it. Okay. Well, then it works for me then. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. Shit, if he says it, then I'll take it. But this one here, they were predicting and looking at him having 49%. Here's what I'm gonna say. Here's what I'm gonna say. I haven't seen, because the California polls haven't closed yet. Here's what I'm gonna say. Is Tapper sad? That's funny. Here's what I'll say. Every vote has to come in. We have seen upsets and disappointments before. I'm pulling for Mamdani. I want him to win. I want Mikey Sherrill to win. I want all of that. But I'm old enough to remember what happens when they count all the votes. Okay. Similarly, how like Black women have been going around talking about where the 92%, the actual number is 89%. Pew found that 10% of Black women actually voted for Trump. 1% voted, for other people. These things happen. And so, yeah, I mean, they're projecting. It doesn't mean that he's won, right? No, he hasn't officially won. He's going to give a speech. It's all political theater. This is why we're here. All of this is political theater. All of it is whatever. They still have to count every single vote that comes in. They're reporting it and claiming a win, not even with 3/4 of the votes in. But I'll let y'all have that. I'm actually going to go feed my cats, get myself something to eat. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Again, if you want to leave a tip, if you've been here through the whole ride, I got Cash App, I got Venmo, I got the PayPal there for you. Subscribe to my Patreon, patreon.com/FeministaJones. Really appreciate you all coming and supporting and creating this. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button. If you are here and you haven't hit the like button on this video, hit that like button, subscribe. We're here every Tuesday and Friday for Political Theater with Dr. T. As I said before, I don't know if you guys saw my Nigeria video. I'm going to start doing more video drops where it's not going to be live in front of a live audience. It's just going to be me kind of giving my commentary on political things that are coming. We'll try to keep it 20 minutes or less. Really appreciate the support. Tell all your friends about me. Share everything. I love you all very much, and I hope you all sleep well. We'll be catching up. We'll talk about it Friday. We'll reconvene and we'll talk about the outcomes of the elections and things like that. I appreciate you all. I love you all with the love of freedom and the love of liberation. We will win. Okay. We got, and I believe that we will win. I love you all, and good night.